Welcome back, you filthy exiles. So, as everyone's aware, there's obviously the new league coming out. Not only that, the new Atlas expansion coming out as well, called Echoes of the Atlas, and a bunch of other content changes. After the live stream, there was actually a 40 to 50 minute Q&A live stream, which was done between Chris Wilson and Ziggy D. Anyway, I thought I'd summarize that for those who don't feel like sitting through 43 minutes or 45 minutes, 50 minutes. Anyway, this video will cover off on that, and yeah, enjoy. Okay, so the first part of the Q&A was actually about the Echoes of the Atlas content itself and the changes that would be coming to the league. So the first thing was that Maven happens at the same time as Sirus, so that Sirus still exists, and the expansion is to the Elder storyline. So Maven and Sirus coexist at the same time. Number two, the story for the Maven and the out-of-world entities is stemming into the storyline that's going to feed into POE 2 from the looks, and at least that's what was explained, so there's much more content to come. And as noted, the progress of the Maven occurs alongside Sirus as you get the Watchstones. They don't have any interaction at this stage, and basically we now have two endgame bosses on equivalent standing. Completing the Maven boss fight, this is number 4, will unlock the relevant skill point for each region, or completing the Maven boss fights, I should say, in each region, so they will get progressively harder as you go. The 10 boss fight is where you get the best loot though, so that's where you fight 10 bosses at once. This is triggered by an invitational item, and in fact in every region to unlock the boss fights with the Maven, that's an invitational item that you'll get. Now the tier 10 or the 10 boss fight item with an exemption to the rest can actually be a tradable item. And that means that you could technically farm this item, trade it on the market, and people could target farm that particular 10 boss fight, or 10 boss fight. Number 6, you can't stack the same bosses in the Maven fight, they all have to be different bosses. Number 7, the new content is introduced at a manageable rate for new players. So it's very strictly targeted at end tier players, and probably the top 10% of players that will play it, or you know, the players that stick around for the longest will get to the end of the content. The content is geared towards veteran players though, so that you don't get bored, and we'll talk about it further down the list. Basically the content will far exceed getting to Awaken at 8, and Awaken at 8 is actually not the most I guess endearing achievement to a league anymore. It goes far beyond that. So number 8, the Atlas passives are built to target farm content and specialize in what you do in the endgame. So as everyone speculated, and including myself, it is specifically built to target farm. Number 9, there is a currency that lets you refund Atlas points. They're not telling us what it is yet, but it will not be cheap at this stage. It will actually have a bit of a cost attributed to it, so we'll find out, I guess, in the patch notes and throughout next week. Number 10, the Maven is the first of the Eldritch entities. One of the notes that Chris Wilson said in the interview was that there is at least 10 more years of Path of Exile planned at this stage. Okay, so point 11, for the Ritual League itself. So according to GGG, you don't need to pull monsters into the ritual site. It will do nothing in maps, so no point kiting monsters in maps. There are lots of different altars throughout the maps. So there are different altars, and they are very fast-paced encounters, so they're much faster than other leagues that we've played in the past. Number 13, the harder the ritual, the better the reward. Number 14, some of the rares in the Tribute store are generated under the new Heist high quality rare system from patch 3.12. For number 15, some of the items are hidden in the Tribute window. These are the more expensive items that you need to do more rituals in a map to actually unlock. Number 16, the new rewards do not drop from ritual monsters. They actually are only available in the Tribute window. so the new base types. Number 17, ritual vessels. You do a ritual capture after the ritual so you can use it on a later map. This is available after you do the instance. So then you can use a ritual vessel and then save that monster for another harder, better fight that you can get more tribute points from. Number 18, having bosses and rituals give you much more favor and tribute points. Number 19, headhunters can be found in rituals, but they're not going to be like easy to find, but they're going to exist. Number 20, you can only use ritual vessels on a vanilla ritual site, so ritual vessels do not stack on other ritual vessels, so on, so on. And number 21, they made mention for alpha testers. So alpha testers will not be getting, will not be eligible for special league prizes or anything like that they usually host. So MTXs and things. They'll probably, I think they still get the challenge rewards, but like in the unlimited delve event, all that sort of jazz, alpha testers won't be getting that sort of free MTX from getting to a certain level, because GGG deemed them to have an unfair advantage over the standard player. Okay, so item or point number 22, harvests for the Oshabi fight. That's actually going to be a random encounter that's going to occur whenever you go into a harvest area or a harvest portal now, and when you're mapping and whatnot. Point number 23 that they mentioned, so there was a mechanic where you could use a beastcraft to split maps, and there was another way to do it too, I'm pretty sure, but the beastcraft method was pretty profitable for blueprinting. So what would happen with that is the blueprint would then carry forward the revealed rooms into the copy. That's no longer going to happen, so you can still split the blueprint, but you'll no longer be able to see or have all the rooms pre-revealed. You'll have to spend all of the marker costs to re-reveal all the rooms on that map. And point 24 they mentioned in relation to Heist, rewards have been slightly wound down, in particular the currency modifiers. That's to not give people too much of an advantage, because Heist was quite a bloody profitable league. Okay, so the items covered off in the general chat questions in the Q&A live stream. So number 25, the Atlas map passive points attached to the new Atlas map trees will be tied to the regions. So each region will have their own passive tree. So if it's Glenard Khan or whatever, they will all have their own passive trees. And you'll need to unlock each one of those passive tree sets of points individually. So basically you can, and the map points will be locked to those points. So if they only have breach points, if they only have delve points, etc., those will be the areas that you want to focus on. So basically what this means is that you will have target maps based on the type of endgame content that you want to focus farm that you'll be playing to, and that's potentially going to create a new market for mapping or map selling, more so than it has been in the past, just for the purpose of completion. It's going to be target farm related. Point number 26, there is no XP or boss drops that have been rebalanced in the Atlas, so no work has went into that. They've simply just been balanced across the new skill abilities, but you don't get any more XP for those bosses. The Maven cannot interact with unique maps because apparently they had complications with those bosses, so that's something they haven't done, so that's not a thing in the new league or the new expansion content. Point 28, the Maven orb will be similar to the Awaken orb as far as drop rate, and will most likely solely drop from the Maven fight, which is the same as the Awakener fight. Point 29, as already noted, Atlas skill points relate to a specific region, so you unlock points locked to that specific region. You can't allocate it to anywhere else in the map. This means that it will take much longer than Awakener 8 to achieve, so we're talking like end game, 3 months of league farming very likely, unless you're super fast. Or, you know, most of us get to Awakener 8 within the first week, so, you know, that'll be week 2. We'll be actually progressing further content. Alright, so number 30, you can get craftable watchstones before you get normal watchstones, which means you can buy your maps, or you can buy watchstones, and basically buy your atlas, essentially. 31, ritual boss captures inherit the level of the boss fight in the map that you run that fight in. So they're locked to the type map. So if you do a tier 5 map or a tier 5 map boss, and that ritual boss is at tier 5, that's the level that it will be when you roll it into the next map. So probably only want to use those on red tier. 32, the Maven encounter bosses will scale to the difficulty of the Maven fight instance. So unlike the ritual instancing, the bosses will be based on the Maven level fight, similar to Awakener at 4 stones, 5 stones, so on. 30.33, so this is for partying in rituals, so only the instance owner will be able to choose the reward. So only one person in the party can pick, there's no separate instancing. Number 34, sextants will affect the mob packs in the rituals, so you can super juice your maps with sextanting, and that will give you better results potentially. Point 35, the rituals do increase from 3 to 4 in higher tier maps, as in 4 rituals in a map, but there's no information about whether or not it goes beyond 4. 4 is the absolute cap. Point 36, there's no new stash tabs that they intend to add into this league. Point 37, Scorching Ray's cast time is getting reduced by 50%. Not sure why, but that's happening. Point 38, they made a note to say that over 40 skills have been buffed, according to them, so they're completely rearranging the way that skills work. So I would say things like Carrion Golem has been nerfed. Blade Vortex and Blade Blast have also potentially been nerfed, but we'll see. Point 39, the Scion has been reworked as part of the expansion. So we'll see what happens there, whether she's more powerful now or less powerful. Not quite sure, there were some crazy builds you can play with her. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much all the points that I'll cover off on, and or that I can cover off on, that GGG gave up in the Q&A. I thought I'd do a bit of a summary video that hit everything on the head instead of having to sit through a 40-minute video. This is like a 12-minute video or something like that, so a little bit more digestible. And everything will be in the comments as well. All of these, I'll type these in the comments or copy them in. If you like this video, like and sub, and until next time, bye.